What happens when you lower your standards for the promise of a financial gain in your business? Well, the first thing that happens is you give your power away. The second thing that happens is you lose control. And you may not lose control immediately, it may be slowly or surely, but surely you're giving your control away and you're losing power. I had a call with a client today who was feeling some anxiety over a client that was really putting her through the paces. This is a luxury agent, long-term, very well-heeled, experienced agent in the luxury arena, and she has a client who has been very rewarding for her, and the promise of being very rewarding for her in the future. And like many of us do, you make choices in your business in terms of risk and reward. And sometimes you risk things for the promise of reward, and that pays off. And sometimes you risk things for the promise of a reward, and it doesn't pay off. And this client of mine was really stressed about the demands that this client was putting on her and the unrealistic expectations he was having about a property that he wanted her to sell in an unrealistic fashion after being told repeatedly for months that the house is not priced correctly and needs an adjustment. So the long and short of it is, what I reminded her was that she was not a victim to what she was feeling, that this person was not directly responsible for how she was feeling and the stress she was dealing with. She was responsible for that. And she was causing her own stress because she'd lowered her standards and had not taken control and had given her power away to somebody who didn't deserve it. And now what she has to do is she has to get her power back, and she has to have a business meeting and a conversation with this client that reestablishes her as the expert, where she takes the reins back and she starts driving again and stops being a passenger in this relationship. And I told her, there's no amount of money that's worth your sanity and worth your health and well-being. Period. End of sentence. Full stop. And when you start when you know yourself and you realize that you're just eating away with frustration and stress and anxiety, you have to stop it because it's your body and it's your health and it's your well-being, and you have to stop it. If there's anything under your control, you have to stop it. You owe it to yourself. You owe it to your husband. You owe it to your children. You owe it to yourself to lead by example and stop the madness. Get off the carousel. So we worked on a script, and we worked on a call, and we worked on a strategy of how to handle it with this client so that she could professionally and firmly take the power back, take the control back in the relationship, reinstate the standards that she's always operated with, so that she can either be done with somebody who's not going to respect her and work with her as a partner, or move forward in a more positive and promising, rewarding way with each other. Relationships in business are no different than relationships personally. It's a two-way street. And if you're in a relationship with somebody who doesn't respect you for who you are, that's not going to last. It's either going to burn out or rust out. So if you recognize that and you can have an intelligent conversation with somebody to try to get that back on track, you've got a pretty good shot at it if you present it well. But we came down to one of two things are going to happen. Either he's going to be resistant and he's going to say, that's fine, I want it the way I want it, and I'll find somebody else to do it, in which case you're going to have to be okay saying, that's okay. I'd rather turn you down now than let you down later. The other thing that could happen is he says, wow, I didn't realize I was being this way, and I appreciate you calling that to my attention, and I will listen to you. I don't want to lose you as my agent, and what do I need to do? And you can move forward in a more positive and respectful way and create a better relationship because you addressed adversity appropriately. Either way, she wins. Either way, she wins because she's going to have the self-respect of knowing that she's called her worth out and said, I'm worth more than the way I've been behaving. And I'm not going to do that anymore. And I'm only going to move forward in this relationship in a way that respects who I am and what my value is in this relationship. She's going to feel like she's lost 50 pounds of stress just by having the conversation, whether it ends up positively in terms of a financial gain or negatively in terms of a termination of a relationship. Either way, she's going to win because she stood up for herself and she clearly and professionally communicated what her needs are and what her requirements are to be in a relationship with her professionally. I don't know who needs to hear this. I don't know if she's the only person on the planet that's dealing with that today, but my guess is this is a pattern that people fall into. You take a chance and you risk things that you wouldn't typically risk for the promise of a reward. Sometimes it pays off, sometimes it doesn't. And when you realize it's not going to, it's time to stop the fight. It's time to take your power back. It's time to take the control back. It's time to recognize that you're worth more than the anxiety you're allowing into your life and move forward. So maybe this means something to you. Maybe this hits a little bit close to home. Maybe you doesn't hit close to home. But today I felt like I had a very engaging and impactful conversation with a client that was going through something in real time that we worked through, and even just the dialogue that we were having on how to handle this conversation with this client, I just watched the anxiety kind of lift away and disappear from her face on our Zoom call. And she just felt better just mentally going through the idea that she was taking her power back and she was getting back the standards that she had given up or lowered for this person. So if you're out there and you're taking risks that are paying off, that's great. But if you're taking risks that aren't paying off, don't let it slide too long, because that can become a pattern that can become harmful for you, and it's not just financial. It could be a health hazard. It could be a mental sanity hazard. Just realize that you are worth more than any commission or any income you can earn. Your health cannot be replaced. Your sanity cannot be replaced. Your anxiety can be kept in the back closet of a back room of your mind if you put the right standards and the right rules and the right boundaries in place in your life. I hope this message was timely for somebody, and I hope that sharing it means something to you and might help you in the future.